For those of you that know me, and for those that you don't, I had gone through many stages with regards to joining up to the fire brigade. So I'd passed all of the theory papers. Obviously I passed an initial questionnaire that you have to fill out to see if you're sort of eligible really as such in your method of thinking and stuff like that, to see whether or not you make a good fireman. I got through all the different stages, and the one stage that I should be really good at, and that I am really good at, is the physical side. So like we had to do a bleep test, and then once you got through the bleep test, you had to do what was it you had to do? Oh yeah, you had to do squats, then you had to do grip test, you had to run up the ladder, you had to run a ladder out. There was loads of different things you had to do. That should be easy for me, because fitness for me has always been a part of my life. Everyone was going to me, oh Nigel, you're going to rinse it, you're going to rinse it, you're going to rinse it. And do you know what? I would have. But I was looking for something else out of the fire brigade. It wasn't about becoming a fireman. It wasn't about helping people and saving people. I was using the fire brigade as a tool to save me. And that's never going to work. Until you can save you, it's never going to work trying to find an outlet another way. Let me give you an example. So basically, if I was to have joined up to the fire brigade, in my head, and I say my head, I'll get on to why after, but in my head, that'll be it. I won't need drugs. I won't need to be negative. I won't need to have negative people around me. I've got positive people around me, new ventures, new experiences, new life experiences, constantly being pushed. It's going to be amazing. That's exactly what I need. Need and want are two very different words. So anyway, so it's got to the morning of the the practical test. I already knew I wasn't going to pass. I knew I wasn't going to pass, and it wasn't because of my fitness state. Well, no, I was carrying a little bit of extra, but it was to do with my mindset. I knew that I wasn't mentally ready to pass that. So anyway, so I've gone down there, and lo and behold, we had to do another a theory paper when we got there, just to prove that, you know, our answers that we gave were true to our knowledge. So I've done them, passed them, absolutely pissed it, no problem. Got onto the straight away they went into the bleep test, so I was quite happy with that, because I didn't want to do the rest of it and then fail on the bleep test. So I've done the bleep test, and I've got to level 5.5, and you had to get to level 7, I think, 8.2, 7 I think. Anyway, that's irrelevant. And I'm running, and if you didn't get to, so basically, those of you who don't know, a bleep test, you go from one end to the other end in between the time of the bleep. So basically, it'll bleep, I'll run off to the other end, I have to get to the other end at the time of the next bleep. And as you go up the levels, each level has 8 stages, so you start from 1 and you go up. As I got to level 5, I missed one beep, I missed the second beep, but then I made the third beep, and then you get another 3 beeps before. So in theory, you can sprint 2, mess 1 up, and as long as you catch up on the other 2, you're still going to be okay. But something stopped me from doing it. Now, obviously I failed. I've come away from there, I felt devastated, and I didn't quite understand why. And I sat in the car, and I've done a video which I'll post on YouTube as well, and I was mortified that I'd failed. And I've been watching a lot of other motivational videos where they say, look, failure is key, failure equals success. Unless you fail, you don't appreciate the good in life. And that is true. That is all true. All of that is all true. But that feeling you feel when you have failed, that's harsh. And that's where your life lesson comes. And it hasn't been until recently, since I've been on this new journey, that I realised it was the best thing that could have happened to me not becoming a firefighter. Not passing that test was the best thing that could have happened to me, because I wouldn't be where I am in my journey. I wouldn't be where I am in myself. I certainly wouldn't be sat here talking to you guys. I would probably still be doing drugs. I would probably still be on the wrong path. In fact, I'm almost 100% I would be on the wrong path, because I looked for a way out. Rather than dealing with everything that's happened in my life, rather than dealing with the person that I had become that I didn't like, rather than dealing with my brain, trying to shut that off and listen more to my heart and my soul, Rather than dealing with all of that, the easiest way is to try and find something else, to take your mind off it more than anything. So this journey now, I mean, my head after failing that fire brigade test was like a merry-go-round. But I was in the middle of the merry-go-round and I couldn't see where to get off. I couldn't see past failing this test. And eventually the merry-go-round stopped. After talking to people, talking is key. Even if it makes no sense, just get it off or write it down. Get it out of you. Put it somewhere else. And then if you want to revisit it, you can read it or you can discuss it again with someone else. You're never ever going to lose the memories. But how about we write the memories down or we give the memories to someone else, and that just takes a little bit of the burden, a little bit of the strain off of us. And not only that, if we take a little bit of the weight off of us, it allows us to float that little bit more. And what I mean by floating, every bit of, there's a terminology that a child used. And he said, I felt so enclosed, I felt like there were bricks on my chest. If we take a little bit of those bricks, a few of those bricks off at a time, it's easier to breathe. And that's exactly what it was like for me. So moving forward from the failure of the fire brigade test, I then really had to sit down and look at where I wanted to be and look at who I wanted to become and where my life was going to go. And then a good friend of mine now, who is my soulmate, a guy called Tom Pace, he understood, because he'd done the journey that I'd been on. And I'd already been talking to Tom up to this point. And I'd had a good week where I was all buzzing and I was bouncing and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to change my life. I'm going to become a fireman. I'm going to become successful. I'm going to get a new house. I'm going to be happy with the missus. The kids are going to have the best dad they've ever had. And they will have all of that. But not under those circumstances. They were the wrong circumstances for me to do that. And that's why I never did. Now, your soul will send you in the right direction. You may not understand quite, and I always go on about the road. You may not understand quite where your road is, but my path now is set out for me. I'm walking it right now. It's not quite a road yet. I can't drive it yet. I've done a bit of driving, but now I've got to that narrow section of road that I have to walk. And you know what? It's exciting, but it's scary. It is scary. Of course it's scary because it's change. It's not what you're used to. You're out of your comfort zone. But what I'm trying to get at is, don't look for any other excuse to get away from, I say demons, but that's quite a strong word, to get away from what's holding you back. Most of the guys I know that fight are emotional wrecks at one point or another. And we fight every single day. I fought for, 20 plus years of my life, not knowing that I was actually fighting the wrong fight. And that's why I've given up my fighting career now, because this has always been my fight. But fighting in the cage, it's the manly thing to do. Fighting in the ring, it's the manly thing to do. Fighting on the street, fighting in nightclubs, it's the manly thing to do. I'm a caveman, it's what I do. I had some good fights, I had some good times. I've learned a lot about it over the years. But I was always in the wrong fight. The fight has always been within me, inside me. So my advice to you guys is, listen to what's inside. If it doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. Take care, guys.